Welcome back. It's nice to see you all. It's funny to think I've been reading some statistics that this is actually the week. What are we, week 3 or week 4 into January? I think it's week 4, where statistically more than 80% of people have either forgotten or sheepishly abandoned their New Year's resolutions. So I'm glad that you haven't abandoned your resolution to sit and continue sitting. I really appreciate spending this time with you. And the quote I'd like to share with you today, you may have heard, it's an old Zen Buddhist quote, which is rather lovely. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, wash dishes, and pay bills. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, wash dishes, and pay bills. So what does that mean? So Tay says, and Tay, by the way, is an affectionate name for a Buddhist teacher. Tay says that in its simplest terms, we can say that before developing the true nature of our wisdom, we chop wood, we carry water, we wash the dishes, we pay the bills. But usually, most of the time, our mind is anywhere and everywhere except on what we're doing. So we're kind of doing it on autopilot. We weren't at all present when we were chopping wood, carrying water, washing the dishes, paying our bills, or even aware of our breathing. However, after self-mastery, we realize that externally, at least, nothing has changed. We're still chopping wood, carrying water, washing the dishes, paying the bills, being a householder. But internally, we realize everything is different. Everything has changed because we've become aware of what's really going on. We've become intimate with our mind and our body, and most of all, our breathing. So we're having an embodied experience. And despite that, externally, we're not what we appear to be in the same way that nothing is what it appears to be. We know it's all an illusion, one that we often create ourselves. It's interesting, isn't it? So I often think about that when I'm washing the dishes. I'm focusing on washing the dishes. So we might only pick one thing each day or week to become really aware of. And I've had the washing the dishes and chopping the vegetables as a regular thing where I'm very, very mindful. But we can bring that into any and all parts of our lives. So let's do our usual routine and bring that awareness back to the body, center ourselves so that someday, perhaps we too can achieve that self-mastery and be mindful enough to eventually become enlightened. Now, remember, this is an active sitting practice. It's not passive in any way. The way we sit in front of the TV, that's very passive. So we're sitting upright in a way that lifts the diaphragm and makes it easier to breathe freely. And we're sitting in a way that's sustainable, especially for the back. And I invite and encourage you to meditate with your eyes slightly open without searching for what's going on around you. And become present with the breath by counting to 21, keeping it really normal, whatever normal means to you. 1, 2, 3. The meditation is an active exercise. It's about being aware. But at the same time, it's also about stopping movement, stopping looking, stopping thinking, etc. Instead, we're allowing ourselves to go deeper into ourselves and become intimate with what's really going on for us right here, right now. And of course, we're aware of our thoughts. They're happening 24/7. But in this half an hour, we choose not to engage with them. We don't embellish them. We don't judge them. We don't explore what it means. We just acknowledge, thought, let it go, and come back to the breath. Now we can either help our focus and awareness on the breath by saying a mantra, such as we did last week. On the in-breath, we'll say, I am enough. And on the out-breath, I have enough. Or you can count in cycles of 10 as you wish. Just bring your breathing and awareness together. So meditation is all about withdrawing from the external world, which sometimes can seem quite calm compared to what's going on internally. And it may seem odd sitting here having nothing to do, nowhere to go, especially when our mind is agitated or active. But focusing on the breath as it enters the nostrils and travels through the body and back out will calm the mind and reduce the distractions until gradually we start to benefit from more clarity and get reacquainted with our inner world. It's always there. We just tend to shy away from spending any time in it. So as we become more experienced at sitting and looking internally, we can see when we're anxious and suffering and how we distract ourselves with things going on in the external world to avoid pain. The more we sit, the more we get to know ourselves. So the first thing we're doing is just simply sitting, still, quiet, calmly, so that we can see and feel clearly what is going on. We don't try to force anything. That would only create more chaos. Just let things happen naturally. Sometimes we sit and nothing happens at all. Nothing reveals itself. But when we sit and practice patience, our true nature will reveal itself. So we stop, we breathe, and we notice to better understand ourselves and what is going on. That's all we need to do. We often ask ourselves, why? Why do we do something? Why do we meditate? Meditation is about intensifying our mindfulness so that we're present with whatever it is that we're doing, and we don't do things on autopilot. Feel yourself nodding off and your shoulders starting to slump. Straighten your back and bring your mind back to counting or saying your mantra without any judgment. It's an opportunity to practice self-love, self-acceptance, and kindness. Be prepared to come out of today's practice. Take a couple of deep breaths. Exhale long and slow. And while you're doing that, set an intention for the rest of the day. Where are you going to be more mindful? What spaces are you going to recognize and think, I must remember to. So you might want to just pause before you hit the send button on the computer rather than doing it on autopilot. So just think, what's your intention? Where are you going to place it so that you're more mindful throughout the rest of the day? And when you're ready, move, open your eyes. Do whatever you need to do. Welcome back. How is that for you? How is your sitting helping you increase your mindfulness and awareness of what's going on internally, not just externally? The external world is easy to navigate. There are maps and signposts everywhere. But what's going on internally is not so easy to navigate. What have you noticed either today or since we last sat? If anybody would like to share, feel free.
I was just noticing that I think with all the weather and the storms and everything else, and that I sort of was feeling at risk, kind of, just, and had to really sort of allow myself to move away from that. That was kind of just realizing that was what was going on underneath, So it was good to reset.
Yes. Wow. That's very powerful. As you say, when the weather is very turbulent, we can feel, that present danger in the energy. And yet we have that power to be a safe harbor internally when we focus on the breath.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, if nobody has anything to add, we'll wrap up as usual with a short metta verse, because we meditate for the benefit of everybody, not just ourselves. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be loved. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. I will endeavour to get this full set of recordings, because I just checked my diary. Next week there's 5 weeks in January, but I probably won't record that. I'll keep it at the 4 and get that poster off to you. So anybody who missed any of the previous 3 will have access to those very shortly. Okay. Take care. Stay safe. I know there's lots of storms and bad weather forecasted this week in the UK, but just center yourself and just concentrate on your inner calm, and this too shall pass. So I will see you next week. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.